So here we're opposite the Federal Reserve Room, which was just across the hall there, that door there, known as the Federal Reserve Room. We're in the Pulitzer Prize Room. The first transatlantic phone call was made here on Jekyll Island. So all the latest tech always ending up with the richest of the rich. That painting right there behind me has Andrew Carnegie, JP Morgan, all the major wealth magnates sitting at a banquet. You may not make much of us. From what I could see, there's a bit of a pesky light in the way framing it. But that right there was your global elites piecing together the Ponzi scheme of tertiary extraction and lending money into existence, requiring an ever greater expansion of the money supply, therefore leading to devaluation of your money, leading to it being a natural taxation upon you, inflation, aka loss of purchasing power. Here is the place we're actually in, but as it was taken at that time, and some of the most expensive cottages ever built in some of these rooms. This room is now known as the Microsoft room. Fancy that, them being involved in all of this. Wow. Anyway, so it's extremely remote coming across here. You have to come on a number of bridges, crossing big marshy bogs, very jungle-like trees. You feel totally away from the big country. So this is Georgia, state of Georgia. Yes, Ray Charles. I've got Georgia on my mind. Yes, he's the one. Lovely tune. Not so sure about Jekyll Island and the stuff that's gone down here. So a place for the super rich. So I've strolled into one of the lounges just to get a feel of the opulence. Some of these are quite close to period. One or two of those mirrors are the original mirrors. You can see the girls playing tennis, the wives. This is where the rich, the super rich, and I'm talking Carnegie, Morgan, Rockefeller, Warburg, that kind of rich, came to plot and to relax away from the peasantry. And truly this is remote. Nobody could come on here by accident. You're full of it's rainy and murky outside today. You might be able to see a little bit old school verandas. Let me just give you a little look out. It's turning nightfall now. Old school verandas. I'll show some pictures and I'll put them up on Instagram. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, do that. I should know what my Instagram is. Phoenix369, I think it is. I'll put it in the YouTube notes. But certainly magnificent property. Great opulence. Remote. Jungle. Carved out little niche for plotting the future. The piracy, the soul of America was stolen right here. And the death of Kennedy, I suspect, and many other things quite potentially plotted right here in these rooms, where the military industrial complex, pharmaceutical industries gained their power over the world, particularly America, and as a result the world in many instances, and banking, tertiary extraction, lending, financing. We say this as you sit in what I would consider a car subprime loan mega bomb with cars now the new properties. After a property echo boom, cars now are getting 71 months average financing deals. Most of the time people are only buying half the vehicle. $85,000. Everybody drives a truck with a grille as fat and as aggressive as a Mack truck of the 70s. Some of them need ladders to get in. Really high jacked suspension, $85,000 fully spec'd. Most of them don't know the actual purchase price of the vehicles. They just know the monthly on their 60-month 50% purchase, and that's affordable. And so we are going into our next bubble. We've got the student loan bubble and the Federal Reserve. No credibility in my view anymore, as we enter the end game of something that started in 1913 for the central banks and ended up in a major depression for America in 1933. Who do we have here? Theodore Vail speaks from Jekyll Island as he opens the first public transcontinental telephone line, January 25, 1915. He probably said, "Hello, London." William Rockefeller seated listens. There's your Rockefellers and Mr. Vale. On January 29, standing are left W. Wells, Bosworth, Trowbridge, and J.P. Morgan Jr. There, right there in those photos, are the people that set in motion the financial system that is now reaching the end of the runway in this modern world. What do you think of that? Well, take a look at this beautiful building, old school structure, leather seats. Not all of this will be original. They're trying to capture some of the style, but you have a sense of foreboding, a sense of understanding the kind of environment that the mega wealthy appeared in. Anyway, with that, I'm going to sign off. Catch up with you later, reading up on that history.